The secret to building generational wealth wasn't what you thought. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to reveal how a select group of entrepreneurs defied all odds to join the most exclusive club in the world. The path they took might surprise you. They were told they couldn't. They were told they shouldn't. They were told it was impossible. But today, these visionaries stand among the wealthiest people on the planet. Welcome to the definitive countdown of the top Black billionaires of 2025. I've spent months researching their unconventional strategies, and what I discovered will change how you think about building wealth forever. Stay with me until the end, because the #1 billionaire on this list used a strategy so counterintuitive, it's completely transformed how business is done in their industry. Let's dive in. The foundation builders. Behind every great fortune lies a decision that changed everything. For these first billionaires on our list, that decision wasn't just about money, it was about legacy. Robert F. Smith, with a net worth of $9.2 billion, built his fortune through Vista Equity Partners, a private equity firm specializing in software companies. But here's what most people don't know. Smith once walked away from a guaranteed 7-figure salary at Goldman Sachs to start Vista with just $1 billion in initial funding. Today, Vista manages over $95 billion in assets, but Smith's greatest achievement isn't his wealth. It's his commitment to erasing student debt for hundreds of Morehouse College graduates in 2019, committing over $34 million to the cause. But there's a question that's been haunting me ever since I started researching Smith's journey. What would have happened if he had stayed at Goldman Sachs? The answer to that question reveals something profound about creating wealth versus building legacy. Speaking of legacy, let me introduce you to the next billionaire on our list who completely reinvented what it means to build wealth in the entertainment industry. The entertainment moguls. When most people think of billionaires, they picture tech founders or Wall Street investors. They're not entirely wrong, but they're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. Oprah Winfrey, with a net worth of $3.1 billion, didn't just build a talk show, she built an empire. From her humble beginnings in rural Mississippi to becoming North America's first Black multi-billionaire, Winfrey's journey has been extraordinary. But here's the twist most people don't know. Winfrey's biggest financial breakthrough didn't come from her show's ratings. It came when she negotiated ownership of her television program, something unheard of at the time. This single decision transformed her from being merely wealthy to becoming financially untouchable. By 2025, her strategic investments in Weight Watchers, real estate, and her own network have continued to compound her wealth. But there's another entertainment mogul who took an entirely different approach, one that sparked controversy but ultimately revolutionized an entire industry. Rihanna, with a net worth of $1.7 billion, built her fortune not through music sales, but through her Fenty Beauty cosmetics line and Savage X Fenty lingerie business. By creating inclusive products for underserved markets, she discovered a billion-dollar gap in the beauty industry that was hiding in plain sight. What's the one decision these entertainment moguls made that separated them from their equally talented peers? The answer might completely change your approach to your own career. But before I reveal that, let's look at how the next group of billionaires on our list leveraged technology to build their empires in ways that were previously unimaginable. The tech innovators. In today's world, technology is the great equalizer, and these next billionaires prove it. David Steward, with a net worth of $5.8 billion, built worldwide technology into one of the largest Black-owned businesses in America. What most people don't realize is that Steward started his business in 1990 with just $250,000 in capital. The company now generates over $14.5 billion in annual revenue, but here's what's truly remarkable. Steward built his tech empire not during the dot-com boom or the smartphone revolution, but by focusing on the unsexy parts of technology, IT infrastructure, supply chain solutions, and software services for large enterprises. While everyone else was chasing consumer apps and social media platforms, Steward was quietly building relationships with Fortune 500 companies and government agencies that would sustain his business through multiple economic cycles. But there's an even more fascinating story about how one tech innovator on our list used artificial intelligence to build a billion-dollar fortune in a market that experts said was already saturated. Meet Tope Awotona, founder of Calendly and newest member of the Billionaire Club, with a net worth of $1.4 billion. The Nigerian-born entrepreneur solved a problem so simple yet so universal: scheduling meetings, that investors initially dismissed his idea as too basic. After being rejected by multiple venture capital firms, Awotona invested his life savings of $200,000 into Calendly. By 2025, the company has revolutionized how professionals schedule meetings globally, with valuations soaring past $10 billion. What do these tech innovators know about timing markets that most entrepreneurs miss? The answer lies in understanding not just technology trends, but human behavior. But as impressive as these tech fortunes are, they're dwarfed by the next category of billionaires who built their wealth through an approach that many financial advisors still don't fully understand. The investment strategists. They say it takes money to make money. These next billionaires prove that it takes strategy to multiply money. Michael Jordan, with a net worth of $3.5 billion, transformed from the greatest basketball player of all time into one of the savviest business minds in sports. While his Nike deal laid the foundation, what propelled Jordan into the billionaire stratosphere was his 2020 decision to sell a significant stake in his NBA team, the Charlotte Hornets, at a $3 billion valuation. But here's what most fans don't know. Jordan's initial investment in the team was just $275 million in 2010. That's a 1,000% return in just over a decade, outperforming most venture capital investments during the same period. The question is, how did Jordan identify this opportunity when other athletes with similar resources missed it? The answer reveals a framework for wealth creation that anyone can apply, regardless of their starting point. Then there's Vista Equity Partners co-founder Brian Sheth, with a net worth of $2.2 billion. Despite leaving Vista in 2020, Sheth has continued to build his fortune through strategic investments in technology and private equity. What separates these investment strategists from conventional investors isn't just their access to capital, it's their approach to calculated risk. While most investors try to minimize risk, these billionaires have mastered the art of optimizing risk for maximum returns. But before I reveal their specific strategy, let's look at how the next category of billionaires on our list built their fortunes by transforming entire industries from the ground up. The industry transformers. Some billionaires don't just succeed within industries, they reinvent them entirely. Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest person with a net worth of $14.2 billion, built his fortune by addressing fundamental needs in Nigeria and across Africa. What began as a small trading operation in 1977 has evolved into the Dangote Group, a conglomerate with interests in cement, sugar, flour, and petroleum. The key to Dangote's success wasn't just identifying opportunities, it was his strategy of vertical integration, controlling every aspect of his supply chain to minimize costs and maximize efficiency. By 2025, his refinery project has revolutionized Nigeria's oil industry, transforming the country from an importer to an exporter of refined petroleum products. But there's an even more fascinating story about how one businesswoman on our list identified a billion-dollar opportunity hiding in plain sight within a traditional industry that hadn't changed in decades. Sheila Johnson, co-founder of BET and CEO of Salamander Hotels, with a net worth of $1.2 billion, has redefined luxury hospitality through her Salamander Resort and Spa brand. After selling BET to Viacom for $3 billion in 2001, Johnson didn't retire. She reinvented herself in an industry where few Black women had succeeded at scale. What makes Johnson's story particularly remarkable is how she identified an underserved segment in the luxury hotel market, creating destinations that combine world-class amenities with cultural authenticity. These industry transformers share a common trait that separates them from other successful entrepreneurs. What is it? The ability to see beyond incremental improvements to envision fundamental shifts in how industries operate. But as impressive as these fortunes are, they pale in comparison to our top 3 billionaires who've not only accumulated extraordinary wealth, but have redefined what it means to be a billionaire in the 21st century. The top 3.
The difference between making millions and making billions often comes down to a single decision. For our top 3 billionaires, that decision changed everything.
At number 3, Abdul Samad Rabiu, with a net worth of $8.9 billion, built BUA Group into a Nigerian industrial conglomerate spanning cement production, sugar refining, and real estate. What most people don't realize is that Rabiu's biggest breakthrough came during Nigeria's economic recession, a time when most investors were fleeing the market. While others saw chaos, Rabiu saw opportunity, expanding aggressively when assets were undervalued. By 2025, this counter-cyclical investment strategy has more than tripled his net worth from 2021 levels. But there's something even more fascinating about Rabiu's approach to wealth, his commitment to giving away at least $100 million annually to Nigerian causes through his Abdul Samad Rabiu Africa initiative. This raises an intriguing question. Does strategic philanthropy actually accelerate wealth creation rather than diminish it? At number 2, Mike Adenuga, with a net worth of $10.3 billion, built his fortune through telecommunications, Globacom, oil, Conoil, and real estate. But Adenuga's path to billions wasn't straightforward. He lost his first fortune during Nigeria's military regime and had to rebuild from scratch. What separated Adenuga from other entrepreneurs wasn't just resilience. It was his ability to identify regulatory arbitrage opportunities that others missed. By navigating complex regulatory environments across multiple African countries, Adenuga built Globacom into Nigeria's second-largest telecommunications provider. But before I reveal our number 1 billionaire, I need to address the question that's been haunting me throughout this research. Is there a common thread connecting these diverse success stories? After months of analysis, I've identified a pattern so counterintuitive that it challenges everything we think we know about building wealth. And that brings us to our number 1 Black billionaire of 2025. The number 1. At the top of our list stands a visionary whose approach to wealth creation has rewritten the rules of business. Aliko Dangote, with an astounding net worth of $14.2 billion. What separates Dangote from every other billionaire on this list isn't just the size of his fortune. It's his blueprint for wealth creation. While most entrepreneurs focus on disruption and innovation, Dangote built his empire by focusing on fundamental human needs: food, shelter, and infrastructure. The Dangote method reveals a profound truth about wealth creation. Sometimes the biggest opportunities aren't in creating new markets, but in transforming existing ones. His $19 billion petroleum refinery, completed in 2022, has dramatically reduced Nigeria's dependence on imported fuel. But here's what truly sets Dangote apart: his long-term perspective. While most businesses operate on quarterly timelines, Dangote plans in decades. This approach has allowed him to make investments that seemed foolish in the short term but proved transformative over time. The question is, can this approach be replicated? I believe it can, and I've distilled Dangote's strategy into 3 principles that anyone can apply. Focus on fundamental needs that never become obsolete. Master vertical integration to control your entire value chain. Think in decades, not quarters. But there's an even deeper lesson from these billionaires' journeys. As we've seen through these remarkable stories, the path to extraordinary wealth isn't just about what you build. It's about why you build it and who you build it for. From Robert F. Smith's commitment to eliminating student debt to Aliko Dangote's nation-building investments, these billionaires haven't just accumulated wealth, they've created value on a massive scale. The most surprising insight from my research isn't about investment strategies or market timing, it's about purpose. Every billionaire on this list connected their business mission to a larger purpose that sustained them through inevitable challenges. This raises a profound question for all of us. What would happen if we approached our own work, not just as a means to make money, but as a vehicle to create lasting value? I'd love to hear your thoughts. What surprised you most about these billionaires' journeys? Which strategy do you think has the most potential in today's economy? Drop your insights in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found value in this breakdown, help me share these insights with others who might benefit. Hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell to join me on my next deep dive. Until then, remember, the greatest fortunes aren't built overnight. They're built with vision, persistence, and a commitment to creating value that extends far beyond the bottom line.